studio and I have been working on some paper flowers. These are like little daisy flowers that are just layered, and then they have a pretty little center that has just a little bit of dimension to it there. And I'm kind of getting addicted to making these. These are really fun. They look really cute on the front of a little card or in your junk journal or scrapbooking. So many different fun ways to use them. You can even take these and maybe line them up, you know, across your table. If you had table scatter, just to kind of run down the center, that might be kind of pretty. But anyhow, let me show you how I've made these. They're really pretty quick and simple, like most of my projects are. But I start out with these little dies. They're just little metal dies that I run through my embossing machine. So let me zoom out here just a little bit and we will get started. And I'll show you how quick and easy these come together. Move this up to our top corner a little bit. Okay, in my Etsy shop I sell lots of these little flowers here. They are like a lei flower that people will use to make leis with. They got a hole in the middle so you can run string through them. But anyhow, I sell lots and lots of these in my Etsy shop. And when I'm done at cutting them out, I'm left over with lots of scraps like this. Just tons and tons. You can tell all the where it finishes cutting the flower out at the edge there. But I'm always looking for ways to reuse these. So that's why I came up with these little Gerber daisy flowers. And so I just took one of these sheets. So I just took one of these sheets and I just cut it in half. I just kind of picked a different color here, cut it in half, because I will be using 2 of these big flowers and 1 of this middle-sized flower. And I can actually put these on here like this and cut 2 at a time through my machine because my metal die is thick enough that it'll cut through both strips of this cardstock. So let's do that real quick. All right, so let's move these over out of the way and I'll bring in my embossing machine so we can get these cut. Just got this layered up just right so it will cut through the metal dies, and I've got both pieces. I'm gonna lay on there and then these fit on there just like that. I don't need the little one there, but I'm gonna go ahead and run it through while I'm running through so that I will have it for a different project later. And for you, those of you that are wondering, I'm using the Big Shot Electric Express. I've got a video on this that you can go back and watch later if you're interested. So there's that. Let me move this big guy back out of the way. Okay, we're just going to pop these out. It cuts through both layers pretty well. I'll set that one to the side for now because we won't need it. Just going to use a small pair of scissors to pop those out. I have my other tool, but it is not in front of me now, and these scissors will work just fine. Okay, there's those 2. All right, let's get that apart. And those are the ones that we're going to need. I'm going to go ahead and pop these out for all 3. Okay, these are the only 3 we're going to need, but I'm going to take these other 3 that I have here, and I have a little container that as I use them, I make them and put them in there. So that's saved for another project, and we will move on to the next step. So for the next step, what I want to do is start curling my flower a little bit. And I'm just using a bone folder type of thing. And I'm curling it back. I'm not pulling too hard. I'm kind of holding on to the little tip right here because I don't want to rip them off. And I'm not doing it a whole lot, but once I do that, then I kind of hold in and bend at the bottom. Okay, we'll do that for this one. Super quick. Anybody else love making flowers? It's like I don't have time to do it as much as I like, but so much fun when we do. And the last one, same thing. Okay, and that looks pretty good, I think. I'll maneuver it up just a little. Okay. Now the next thing we need is this little inside part to these. And the way I'm going to make that is I've just got a piece of craft cardstock. Let's move out just a wee bit so you can see what I'm doing here. And I've got a pair of scissors, and let's see, this is, it was an 8.5 by 11, but I've already used, you know, some of it on here. So I'm just going to go by the 8.5 side, which is this one, because it's the longer now. And I'm going to just cut me a thin little strip. And just trim right along there. You can do this on a trimmer if you want, but I just did it with my big scissors. And then I'm going to go along and make little trim, little, I don't know, fringes in it all the way across. Now, if you want to add more kind of detail to it, I've got one that I did here earlier. Let me show you. Where I used some ink, some distress ink, and a sponge, and I went along and just inked up the whole edges on both sides, just so it would have a little bit more detail to it. But it really didn't make a whole lot of difference, so I didn't think it was worth the extra effort to do it. But that is something you can do too. But I am just going to go ahead and go all the way across here, putting little snips, and then I'll show you what I do next. Okay, I've gone the whole length of this with my little fringed edge. So now I'm going to take my thumb and just go along the edge and kind of give it a little bend all the way through there. And this isn't too necessary probably, but I just kind of like how the way they flip out a little more when you do this. So we'll keep doing that. Almost there. Okay. So now for the next step, let me move this over a little bit. I'm going to bring in my hot glue gun for this step. And what I'm going to do is just start on one end and start winding it. So I'm going to put a little glue just on the very tip. And then start winding this guy up. So I'm going to go every, oops, I can flip it around. Maybe I can do it better with on the side. I'm going to add just a little tad bit of glue, not much at all. And just keep winding this around and around. I kind of want it to be more circular than oval. And I'll go a little ways, add just a wee bit, and then keep rolling. I don't do it the whole length of it because it seems to hold pretty well, just going every once in a while. I did it both ways. It didn't really seem to matter. Do you guys have flower gardens planted at your house? I've got a few at my house, and it has gotten so hot the last several days that I'm a little concerned about watering them both in the morning and the evening. Okay, for this last little part, I'm just going to go ahead and go all the way to the edge so that it holds well. All right, And we'll hold that for just a second. Okay, I think that's adhered well. So now I'm just going to go in and play a little fluff with this and try to pull out just a few of those. Okay, I think I like that okay. I mean, I got this one a little more tight than some of them, but that is okay. I think that'll work. We'll set that to the side. And then to do this, I want to layer this on top of this, but I'm gonna kind of maneuver it like that so that it's, what would that be, like 45 degrees something? Do you know what I mean? So that it covers up and doesn't leave holes, spaces in between. So we'll add a little touch of glue. That's centered and pull off the strings. And then we'll put the next layer on there. In the center. Look at all my little strings sticking to everything. Okay. Floof all them edges up, and then for the very middle part, we'll put the glue right in there. And then set our little guy in the middle. Okay. And there we've made a pretty little daisy. Isn't that cute? So if you have some little dies like this, or maybe you have some punches, so this is just a fun way to add some pretty little embellishments to all your projects. So I think that's going to be it for today, guys. Thanks for joining me again. I'll see you next time.